Hello, so this isn't necessarily something. Obviously, if you can't already tell, I really just not only hi, I have a lot of anxiety when it comes to doing this kind of shit. At the same time, this is something that's like I don't know. Anyway, it felt like it was totally I'm totally anyway. ADD is saying hello to something that felt very important to bring into for discussion, at least for the time, because like I can't even begin to tell you how much it like makes my skin crawl. Literally, I'm over here like trying to get a. I hope it's an imaginary eyelash in my eye. Ow. I put on just a little bit of some makeups because I'd kind of like Crypt Keeper if I don't, but still, we all feel pretty in our. Anyway, I don't. I don't really do this whole YouTube stuff a whole lot, but this feels something that's just very important that needs to at least be brought to some people's awareness in case they might be going through the same thing, because that's the main thing I would love for this to come out of for whatever this video is. I might have to probably, I'm pretty sure definitely going to do this like in like parts or something, because this is not going to be something, so I wouldn't even sit through like this for an hour, honestly, so I would not blame you. But this is something that it's like for somebody to get out of this, that they learned something from it. A lot of this is just shit that I have gone through in spite of all this stuff happening with I know I'm gonna say a lot too. I'm sorry. This stuff is not my cup of tea in terms of what I like to talk about, just for funsies. And only reason why I'm doing this at the moment right now is because it feels like I don't want to say called to, because it's not like I'm fucking trying to like excuse my French too. Anyway, like I'm being just I'm like I'm not prophesizing shit, but also I just feels compelled right now, especially. I don't know why. Uh, it'll help make me feel better. At least just at least one or two people watch this and think, okay, like you got kind of something out of it in terms of like, yeah, what I'm trying to tell you. It's taking me a minute because this topic I don't like it. I've had to write down. I was like, oh god, yeah. I've got not only just the backbone of all the situation, this morning, before even sitting down to do this, I'm like, oh, I gotta write something down because I'm gonna be all over the place. It's definitely been attempted before, is also what I was trying to get to. This gives me so much, I don't want to say anxiety. It makes me, it, I'm having trouble trying to figure out, like, what I'm feeling and saying, because it doesn't make me anxious. It just, well, like, for this to be put out, yeah, like, it's like, oh god, like, of course, like the normal human reaction to it, but I've just gotten over that. Especially, it's probably because also not just being feel called to do this, but the attempts that I have made trying to just make some shit. And excuse the mess, also, I know it's too late to address that. Just moved recently, anyway, but yeah. Still dealing with this mentally, honestly. The attempts that I have made to try and make a video of just talking about this and how much like this has not even just about me affected an individual specifically for a prolonged amount of time, their like physical being, like your body can store trauma physically, so like you'll remember stuff like, why am I feeling so crappy for some reason? For it's usually just the timing of that coming around, and you just don't realize it. Because yeah. Also, therapy is awesome. You should do that. You should try it if you can. Try it. But yeah, it's not fun. I'm not trying to gain sympathy. I don't want sympathy. I don't want people to feel bad for me. I don't want any of that right now. It's mainly just to there's some shit to talk about in terms of like I'm tired as hell of things are turning in tides of like it not like yeah, I mean I'm gonna sound like a dumbass. Tides are turning in terms of like people becoming aware to shit behind the scenes, and aka like the P Diddy situation. So that's just top of my head, like to reference like, okay, so we kind of got like a trickle down effect of all these people like slowly being exposed, but also that helped inspire me a little bit, I guess. I always loved Cassidy, like me. Anyway, random as hell, but with that whole thing going on, when New York had lifted the statute of limitations, I could only just say, like, it's an understatement that, like, this whole thing right now is just a daily basis of reoccur. Like, I'll have dreams sometimes, too, of just, like, doing my job, anything like that. So I'm not trying to just, yeah, with substance in here, trying my best to just stay on topic. Cassie, that really made me feel sad because a lot of people were kind of like, and it's totally fine. Like this is where I welcome any opinion, like good or bad. It's just like the topic of discussion. That's just what we need to be focused on. As long as it's being talked about, good. But anyway, yeah, this shit really gives me anxiety. But anyway, literally, the fact that she chose to settle because that's what most people would expect out of it's so easy to say it's a money grab situation. That's where I'm like not sure like beating around the bush when it comes to that because that's easy for a lot of us. Like, look, okay, uh, a lot of us want to be successful and all that, and for me, I wanted to, and I'm still am. I'm to pursue modeling, and this is all in reference to working a specific part-time job that I was working at for quite some time, like years, and eventually became assistant general manager. And granted, it's a franchise company, so kind of have to anyway. But with having a disposable job and you have like other intentions, goals set in mind, you kind of like are pursuing that for the most part. So you gotta do what you can to get there, but anyway, not condoning people to just, allocate like a fake ass situation just to like quite the fucking opposite. It really kills me inside a little bit because people are like, why didn't she just keep going? Like for Cassie, like why didn't she just keep? And I understand that completely. That's what I try to do. I'm just kind of sitting here and thought because it's like I'm a 29-year-old chick or woman, if you want to call it. Like I'm a millennial dumbass. Like I'm just sitting here like I've got barely this microphone put together. I don't even have a desk clamp yet. I found this at the thrift store and I got really lucky. But like other than that, yeah, trying to heal from a lot of trauma and shit and reevaluating my life after the past just even the lawsuit itself lasting 5 years. Yeah, anyway. I don't blame Cassie for just settling because having to go about that shit. Being interrogated by somebody that's like being paid like $300 to $500 an hour, and they have absolutely everything at their disposal to justify anything to the means of making sure that you are going to be on record saying some shit that is not true so they can take you down, aka sounds really like like the world's conspiring, and no, it's not. It's really like I understand how the defense attorney things and all that stuff works, stuff, whatever. But anyway, yeah. Um, with that being said, all the lawyers that I had to try to explain how this even started, how it derived to, but like derived, but like evolved to. I'm still waking up. It's I slept in today. I kept getting woken up by my cats because they were looking at me like, "What the hell? Feed me." Anyway, yeah. Finding lawyers was not the most. Like, if anything, that was probably the most discouraging part, if not probably one of the most. I can't even. I can see it right now in my head. One of the lawyers that I spoke to sat in her office, explained everything, and she looked at me after all of that and just like interrupted at some point. Like, she was seeming to understand. Like, she was asking the questions and everything, and then at some point, this is like before I've been aware of like, excuse me, aware of being interrogated for my intentions. So let's say, like, I'm just like, we're being not political here, but we're kind of being obvious and direct. That's just my take on things. So yeah, as a white female, you're gonna probably take me as wanting to, like, want an easy paycheck, and that's fine. I totally understand that if that's anybody's perspective. You just have to have some patience and listen to someone's story with my no pinky nail. But I have to cope with humor a lot with this shit because it's really really bad. Anyway, the lady lawyer, I don't know, man. It's like that was the first woman lawyer that I even spoke to. Most of them, I personally like just Googled like lawyers near me, like Justia or something like that. Either way, I can't remember. I just remember. I just had got to keep going. I got to keep going. I cannot let that deter me. But like, I even met one lawyer. Not trying to just add to the bill, but it's like I did not sleep one night because I had to work and I was still pursuing my modeling stuff or whatever. Working in Atlanta, and I found out how to do background jobs and stuff. So I happened to find background. Anyway, found a gig that was like overnight. I had to leave at some point during that. It was like 4 or 5 in the morning. Like, finally, I was like, I gotta go because I gotta go see a lawyer at 9 in the morning in a state over. So, with that being said, yeah, thankfully I made it there on time. I literally was like, oh shit, I literally made it there like right on the dot. If not, probably like 10 minutes early. It was kind of like, okay, I'm exhausted, but please hear me out, dude. Yeah. I can't even remember their faces, the ones that like just like I spoke to and tried to connect with, and this is definitely gonna have another part because it's probably like 15 minutes in. But yeah, I'm not even gonna edit this. I don't care about like the views and all that shit. This is just if someone can take away with this that might help them. That's what's gonna make me feel better, and I can probably rest a little bit better at night, even at some point after this video gets posted or something and something happens, God forbid, I'd probably, my soul would rest a little bit easier. But anyway, I'll try to tear my hair out and shit. But yeah, the lady lawyer and all the other lawyers I spoke to, it was like, I could almost remember some of their faces that I would connect with. And once I could feel that hope just out the window, I'm like, great, alright. Like, please just let me get away so I can. The lesser time I'm here, the more time I have more time I have to be able to find a lawyer. It's bad. It's not fun if you're on your own with this shit, especially. My family supported me for it, but this is also another reason I forgot to mention why I wanted to make this video, because I happened to actually just, it was just a random uh, conversation I had with my mother. And when this was starting to go down, I was working at this part time job. I was living with my mother up until like adulthood, until like moving out, because at that point my stepfather had passed away and it was just her and I, so it was like super, like, for people that have gone through that, it's weird, like their household is like never the same. So yeah, like it's really hard to just want to leave the nest at that point, you know. But anyway, um just being a lover of music, either way, my mom loves music too, so we kind of just, we're just like roommates. It's chill. Other than that, the yeah. See, I'm like picking my fingers and shit. That shit makes me so like, it's nerve wracking. I was talking to my mom about it last night, and I was just like, I'm sorry for like standing up. I had to apologize. I have to. It sucks that we have to apologize in this fucking day and age for just standing up, for doing it, for trying. Let me reword that. Because there was definitely nothing out of that in terms of recognizing who did wrong, who didn't do their job, whatever. It's not about who's right, honestly. Just bringing light to that darkness, you know. But anyway, I was just apologizing to my mom. Excuse me, please, in advance, please, 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 in advance. If I get emotional, because it's still pretty fresh from that situation, because I essentially, and I'll have like this whole little thing I made on like Microsoft Excel of like the time when I was literally being retaliated against. It's hard to talk about, but I'm here. Uh, the point where basically I like was being retaliated so hard against when I was speaking up about shit. I was also working as a manager, and I was being scheduled for 9 hours to less than that. Like, it started to just descend, and I was like, and I even asked about it. I'm like, well, what's up with this? I can't pay rent. Like, I'm helping my mother pay rent because it's just the two of us. And I'm like 25, almost 25 or something at that point. I'm like about to hit my mid 20s because stepfather had passed away when I was 20. And I'm 29 now. So, anyway, um, this shit kind of took away a lot of my 20s, not to be pessimistic about it, but anyway. Um, yeah, this definitely is going to have like a part series, whatever, I don't know. Just here to help somebody, I guess. But yeah, basically, I wasn't able to help pay rent and ended up, I don't want to say homeless, because the person that I don't want to say, I guess, dating at the time, yeah, I was just kind of seeking refuge at his house, and then I don't even know what happened at that point. This has nothing to do with this at all, unrelated. But I guess the fate of the situation for him too. He happened to be suddenly evicted from his house with his dad. So at that point, I feel like shit because my mom is like, WTF. She's like looking at me like, why couldn't you, like, she doesn't think like that. I don't think as much now looking back, because she sees how I've grown. She sees how I was like, yeah, it's still a work in progress, honestly. But there was definitely times where she's like, you could have just like, bit the bullet, and we'd still have a place to live, blah blah blah. But yeah, this shit is really not fun to talk about. Um, the guy I was seeing at the time didn't really seem, I guess, to take heed much of the situation in terms of like how bad off I was, and I definitely wasn't trying to just bandwagon or hitchhike on someone else's situation. Like, definitely wasn't trying to do that. It was very unexpected what happened with his eviction situation, and that's still ongoing too. So more to come with that. Anyway, though, but long story short, already about 30 minutes in, but literally though, yeah, I'm sweating and everything. I ended up Uh, I wouldn't say couch bounced, but like it was very blurry at that point in time. Oh, fuck. No, it's not like I'm just now remembering shit, but I'm just like, okay. Still doing the background work stuff in Atlanta or Georgia or whatever. That's where some of that stuff mostly is. If you know, you know. Uh, excuse me. It's like around that time I had, I was couch. Excuse me. I've got acid reflux. Uh, I burp really. It sounds like it's like ocean foam. I'm sorry. No. Um, I was basically couch bouncing in Atlanta, and just eventually I got in touch, and this is at least a funny thing for it. Just I'm about to end this video. Um, I had before, yeah. Now we're realizing shit, but anyway, yeah. I definitely was not in the best mindset, and couch bounce like an mf'er. Um, like this makes me so uncomfortable. I don't like talking about this at all, but it's whatever. It's just like remembering the dark past of my mistakes. I don't care. I'll totally admit it. Definitely didn't make the best choices. I tried my best to just let my mom have her piece, I guess. And at that time, I was before mentioning the guy that got evicted. This was a previous relationship. So anyway, um, serial dater. I don't know at the time, but anyway. Since then, I have not dated anybody else for the past 5 years. If that. Anyway, we're not getting to that. But no, it's just funny because I was like, shit, I tried my best to not like, because every other video I've made is just like this vibe. So anyway, um, that's before I started therapy and actually, not actually, but like, actually having a good therapist to help understand the ADD situation side, I guess, and all that. Because there's so many thoughts right now that I could just, dude, from it's in Sunny in Philadelphia with all those little that. Anyway, that's my brain. Uh, this guy though, I was staying on his couch, and then I ended up like uh working at another job, but nothing bad happened there. At that point though, I was still recovering financially from that, but also like mentally, physically, because I lost a bunch of weight from being so depressed. I couldn't eat because I was so anxious. It's like your stomach feels like it's a pretzel. If you know, you know. Anyway, yeah. Um, I really tried for myself to make means to an end in terms of what I want to do for myself, like goal wise. So I wasn't gonna let shit stop me, basically. Life's too short. I don't know. Literally, um, if I can't come out smiling on the end, then it's not a win for me, at least. So that's just my take. But that relationship didn't, unfortunately, did not work out. So I met somebody that happened to live in Georgia, and that's where I started to couch bounce because that person happened to know, and this is where I was getting to after the the relationship that didn't work out. Jesus. It's just, oh my god, okay. We're talking about three dudes here in a time frame. Totally different conversation, but anyway, you know. We deal with our shit differently, so either way, this person in Georgia had helped me get into connection with somebody that was renting out their 9-year-old daughter's bedroom, and it was for it was like 200. This is back in 2019. This is pre-COVID, 2018, something like that. 2018, 2019, either way. $200 a month. I was like, cool. And I'm still just working a crap job and pursuing just background job work. And If you know, you know. You do that kind of stuff. I'm about to end this video because this is a long video. I'm sorry. But anyway, literally, um, if you've watched this long, I really appreciate it, by the way. Thank you. Literally, I know I'm sorry. Just bear with me. If I wouldn't have stuck doing the background stuff jobs, like, that's just one good thing, at least from that. I wouldn't have been able to have, like, worked for stuff like Marvel or shit, I don't know. Literally got to work with Ron Howard, and I remember my mom got so mad at me because I was like, "Who's Ron Howard? I'm from the South. I've seen Andy Griffith's show." I'm just really not good with names and putting two together whenever I'm just on cruise control because therapy had not happened for me until recently. So a lot of, yeah, it's just articulation for me. Um, the roommate situation, I got so lucky on, but basically, just to end this, I guess we'll basically say it like not say it, but anyway, we'll end this with like the good news of how I started the journey of that. Maybe it'll bloom into me talking about that type of stuff because it's crazy of like the stories I've had on working on sets and stuff. I'd love to talk about that. I'm sure hopefully somebody wouldn't mind hearing about it, but literally before things started to kind of go up for me in terms of like what I was pursuing and then leaving that shit behind me. I was living in someone's 9-year-old daughter's bedroom with chalk all over the fucking walls. With just my PS4, a little shitty space heater, and my goofy ass shit. So anyway, yeah. Uh, Thanks for watching, and see you on the other side. Bye.